Anywhere you go, you will easily be met with images telling you that your home is not beautiful enough, you don't make enough money, your kids don't have enough toys to make them happy, you're not skinny enough, you're not pretty enough, your skin's not smooth enough. So today, I'm gonna take some time to de-influence you just a little bit. I'm gonna share some honest things that have been on my heart and remove a little bit of the veneer of social media. If you're new here, I'm Jess, and I make videos on cultivating contentment and making space for joy in your life. Things like minimalism, slow living, and intentionality in motherhood. Let's get into it. This is what a kitchen looks like after a sick weekend. Let's talk about the first thing. Home decor. This is currently the home that we live in. It's our first home that we bought. I love home decor. I love sifting through magazines. I think it's such a beautiful form of expression. However, my husband and I currently have really big, really exciting financial goals for our family. We hope and long to be able to buy land one day, potentially build a house. That is not going to happen here. I live in California. We are going to have to move out of state for it. But that goal is not, it's not tangible yet, but it is very much informing the decisions that we make right now. My daughter had a virus all weekend. We still have our Christmas tree up. We've got toys on the floor. Almost every piece of furniture that I have, we bought early on in our marriage. We either thrifted it, we got it super discount, or got it from friends. And we have not really replaced it, most of them. But right now, because we have those financial goals, we are not wanting to invest in high dollar item pieces at all. It's not in line with where we want to go, and we're very conscious of that. There's a lot of things that were hard about where we live. We live kind of in the heart of the city. We live in a development, but there is a high crime. We're right under what is it called? An airport. So we're constantly getting noise. There's a lot of noise pollution where we live. We have dreams of being able to have more land for our kids to run around and to really grow up outside and to grow up with a different kind of life. And that's what we're working towards. We are like actively saving, actively working towards that. As I have found more and more contentment with like what we have right now, realizing that so much of how my daughter is going to experience her home has to do with me and my husband and our relationship. I believe that the mom is like the nervous system to the home. What good is it to have a home that we have perfectly curated a beautiful aesthetic, which is beautiful and exciting, but we've gone into massive debt to do that? Or my husband and I are in strife, or my daughter and I don't have a healthy, peaceful relationship. You know, social media, they say a beautiful home looks a certain way. But growing up, what I remember about my home was not the way my mom decorated it. It was the way I felt in my home. And what's most important is that people come here and they feel safe and they feel welcome, especially my daughter. And that doesn't have to do with the kind of couch we have. We have good food. We want people to feel welcome as they are. Their kids can come and wreck everything. I don't care. You don't have to be worried about breaking something or making a mess. Making sure that it is a safe place where people see God's love reflected in our relationships. And I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what social media says, that's really gonna win every time. All right, let's talk about cars for a second. We are a one-car family household. We only have one car. Now, my husband does work from home, so it's a blessing that we can do that. We've bought this used. This bad boy has been through it. The car door actually doesn't work from the outside. We can only open it from the inside. So that's a fun little, unique personality of him. We are not planning on upgrading or getting a new car even this year as we plan to expand our family. We have a high value of not taking out debt, particularly when it comes to cars. Our plan is we're only buying something that we could pay cash on, which most likely means it's not going to be like a new car. Yes, it would be more cramped if we had another baby. We'd have the 2 kids. I probably couldn't squeeze my hips between them, to be completely honest, and Kevin would have to make do in between here. If it is within your means and it is a wise decision for your family, it's within your values to buy a nice, beautiful new minivan, that's great. It's not within ours. And I've gotten questions as we've talked about expanding our family, like, okay, so what are you going to do about the car? Like it's like an expectation. What are you going to do about the car? And we're like, well, pretty much going to keep the same car. We're going to ride this puppy until it can't ride no more. So this is not a video against buying things or a video against buying new things. It's more a video against letting other people, comparison trap, influencing, dictate what your values are and the decisions that you make when it comes to what you buy or how you live your life. Because in today's day and age, with the fact that we can take out a loan to get a new car that we can't necessarily afford at the moment, and the constant messages about buying and constantly that FOMO of seeing what everyone else is doing, it's really easy to abdicate the responsibility of having to think thoughtfully or be intentional about our buying decisions and to just kind of do things because everyone else is doing them. There's some gnarly virus going on, and so we were up probably every hour. I'm not even gonna clean the bed for you. This is what it looks like. Since we're folding some children's clothes, let's talk about baby items. One of the biggest traps of influence here is the aesthetic mom thing, the aesthetic parenting trap. But I find it really interesting that in our country, I live in the United States, what it means to get ready for the baby is to make sure that your things are in order. You have the nursery ready, you have all the stuff that you're quote supposed to have. We have baby showers where the way that people show you support is by buying you things. And sometimes, I mean, gifts can be such a service. Diapers, and like, it's such a blessing to receive gifts that you actually need. So that's great. But there's such a huge influence on having these elaborate, beautifully designed nurseries and all of the things that your baby, quote, needs. It's all over social media. And yet, in this same country, we have some of the worst maternal health outcomes, horrible postpartum mental health, some of the lowest rates of breastfeeding. We are constantly trying to separate mom and baby. And I find that to be ironic because in other cultures, they do things like a mother's blessing, where the emphasis is not simply just buying things for the baby. The emphasis is on the mom and helping the mom carry her to transition her from maiden to mother. I think that historically we've recognized that what babies really need is a present and vital mom. If the mom is not there, the mother-baby dyad suffers. And I think that in our culture currently, just what I've observed where I've lived, in the westernized states, we have that totally backwards because it's so much more profitable to tell you, no, your baby needs this. Your baby needs this special rocker, this special toy, these special swaddles, these special whatever. It makes you as the mom feel like what you can give your baby is not adequate. We invested our resources into the actual birth. So I gave birth at a birth center. And I didn't know how much my insurance would cover at the time. So we knew that that was going to be an investment. And then we put some money aside for a couple sessions with a lactation consultant because I wanted to make sure that I was set up to successfully breastfeed. 10 out of 10 don't regret that. I didn't have any of the fancy baby gear. I had like none of the cute stuff. She slept in our bed. She co-slept, like nothing fancy, nothing cute or Pinterest worthy. From the outside, I had the opposite of an Instagram worthy postpartum. But my baby and I was having my needs met and I was able to pour into my baby. All right, let's put these clothes away. I'm gonna make a big batch of sourdough pancakes. I do this most weeks. I basically take a chunk of my starter and I feed it with a ton of flour. We're gonna do, oh, hey, wait, we're gonna do my job. I'm gonna feed it, we're gonna do spelt today. So I'm gonna grind up a whole bunch of spelt berries into flour and I'm gonna, in a big bowl, I'm gonna put a little chunk of sourdough starter, a ton of the flour. Today I'm gonna do water, but you could also do milk.
Dad, where are you going?
All right, let's talk about information. We live in an information economy, and personally, I'm not mad about that. I think it's awesome that someone can package what they've learned, you know, what they've built, and with trust established, take someone through a course or a transformational container or whatever. I think there's really cool things about the internet. However, there's a big however. Because of short form content, social media, YouTube even if it's not short form, we have packages of information that are half there. They're half truths, they're decontextualized, not to mention that what sells on social media, what will get you clicks and likes, the more polarizing it is, the more extreme it is, the more simplistic it is in nature, the better it sells. For example, let's talk about health information. This was the realm, this was the world that I was in. I built my first business online when I was 20. I had a social media, I had a website, I saw clients, and it taught me a lot of things. There were parts of it that were amazing. I loved getting to interact with the women. I loved it, but I will tell you, I learned a lot. about what sells and what doesn't sell on social media. And so as the consumer of that information, you might be copying, taking these pieces of information, wanting to be like her. Maybe you're looking for solutions for your period pain, you're looking for solutions here, and you're just trying to find answers. And so you're getting influenced by all of these different half pieces of information, not knowing someone's full story, not knowing that when someone makes a polarizing reel about how dairy causes acne, that it's actually much more contextualized than that. The research is very conflicting about that. It totally depends on the person's gut, depends on the quality. I mean, there's so many, again, contextualized pieces to this. I saw this all the time. The more extreme you are, the more that you present things in a super simplistic, black and white way, the more quote unquote successful you are on Instagram or on TikTok. This is perpetuating and influencing a culture, causing us to think about things in a very decontextualized manner. And I don't think it's any surprise that with health now, it's such a massive industry of this kind of diet, this kind of way, this is bad, this is a good food, etc. It's extremely two-dimensional. When I built my 10-item wardrobe, I didn't necessarily do it for this noble cause of wanting to be better for the environment or wanting to practice like a less vain life, to be honest. I just did it as an experiment in minimalism. But something I found in doing that was it really stripped away all the temptation I had to say, well, I am what I wear. I am what I look like. I still have clothes that I love, don't get me wrong, and I want to wear things that make me beautiful. I should say, make me feel beautiful. But I really realized how much the temptation was constantly for me to buy clothes based on what I saw they represented to me on social media. This girl, she looks so flowy, she looks so free, she looks so beautiful. If I was wearing that, I would be like that. We're not actually buying clothes. We're buying a feeling, what we think is a feeling. We're buying an aesthetic. We're buying a role. That girl is a realm of aesthetic, and there's a whole bunch of different ones. That Christian girl, that gym girl, that whatever girl, whatever you want to be, there's an entire aesthetic listing, usually with products and what you should look like, how you too can be that girl. This brought to mind something that was so fascinating about social media. So many of us, in an effort to want to belong, because that's human, have unknowingly done all of the work for marketing. We see something like that, and we aspire to that. There's something in us that says, if I am like that, I will be more lovable, I will be more acceptable. So we start posting content like that. We start posting content to see, look, I'm also that girl. Because deep inside of us, we say, I want to be like that. Without even needing someone to hire us. We're posting those products. We're posting that same aesthetic. We are getting the ball rolling on this massive trend, continuing to let other people feel left out if they're not that girl. Not even doing it willingly, but just because innately in us, we want to belong. Some of the comments I get on my 10-item wardrobe videos is, how are you not bored only having a core capsule wardrobe? And I'm not against replacing items. I'm not against buying new things. The truth is that it has been almost like a practice for me to resist a cultural pull to constantly get bored really easily or get discontent when something loses its immediate appeal. And I think because of social media, you're constantly seeing influencers get new hauls, you're constantly seeing new clothes, even if it's great for that person, even if this person hasn't bought something in a long time and they're finally, they've gotten something new for themselves, it doesn't matter, because the context that you're coming from is you're scrolling through video after video after video of people getting new things, new things, new things, new things. And in your brain, you're saying, gosh, I want something new. I want that high of something new. Our brains get very used to things very quickly. And if you keep exposing it to new stimulus, you're constantly buying new clothes, it comes to expect that. It'll get bored even faster. It's not a bad thing to buy clothes that make you feel beautiful. I don't think it's a bad thing to support businesses that you want to support. Please don't hear that. I think it is an extremely damaging precedent that social media has set to overconsume, overwhelm your closet, and to find your identity in the things that you wear. Very much adorning yourself outward to tell you who you are instead of focusing on what is internal. If you guys enjoyed this de-influencing video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will leave you with this. A simple thing from one girl that I have found is that beyond getting my most basic needs met, shelter, something to wear, and nourish my body, beyond those basic needs, the things that are the most enriching my life are not things that I have bought. Thank you for joining me in this week's video. I will see you in the next one.